So you just pulled Ronin, one of the forgotten champions of 2019, and because of that, there just isn't a ton of gameplay out there of this guy, and you're just not sure what to think. But after spending some time learning how he works, you might find him to be a little more useful than you originally thought. At least, that was my experience. So here is my quick start guide for probably one of my favorite Avengers to fight with in the game. We'll go over some of his basic fighting rotations as well as pointing out some of his more unique qualities. Okay, let's start by asking a few of the important questions most people have when they first get a new champion. Does he need to be awakened? Ronin's awakened ability seems to be geared more towards defense, and since he's offensive in nature, it's pretty much useless. Is he suicide friendly? Yes, actually he is. With his ability to purify debuffs, you can get rid of both the poison and bleed from the suicide masteries relatively quickly. Any good synergies? Yes, Captain Marvel movie increases the duration of bleeds, and Moon Knight gives him a fury every time you switch stances. Now, speaking of stances, let's go over those real quick. There are 3 different stances: Guard, Wraith, and Demon. But in my opinion, the only one really worth talking about is the Guard stance. This gives you a small chance to get a perfect block, it allows you to parry stun projectile-based attacks, and entering this stance will purify 1 debuff. Now, the source of Ronin's damage comes from his cruelty buffs and the fury buff that he gains after dropping a special 3. So this leads us into his basic fight rotations. You want to start by building up his cruelty buffs first, but this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So it's all based on how many light attacks you do in succession before you dash backwards. So say you were dashing in to start a combo. The initial dash is a medium attack, so you follow that with 1 light attack and then dash back. At this point, you are in the guard stance. So if you do 2 light attacks after your initial medium, then dash back, you'll now be in the wraith stance. And again, if you do 3 light attacks in a row, then dash back, you'll be in the demon stance. So this is how you can switch between the different stances, and every time you do so, you gain a cruelty buff, up to 7 maximum. So my favorite rotation is to build up to a special 3 first, and during that time you want to get as many cruelty buffs as you can, because when you throw your special 3, you're going to gain a passive fury buff lasting for 35 seconds, and the more cruelty buffs you had when you launched it, the stronger the fury buff becomes. So at this point you're hitting pretty hard, and if you want to build your cruelty buffs back up and throw a special 2, you can get off some pretty impressive damage while that fury buff is active. Now keep in mind that both the special 2 and 3 consume all of your cruelty buffs, so you will have to rebuild after each of them. So that's pretty much it. Once you understand his basic mechanics and can weave in and out of his different stances confidently, you'll really start to enjoy his aggressive playstyle. And although he doesn't do a ton of damage, I believe he is a very well-balanced champion when it comes to utility versus overall damage output. And if you like that aggressive playstyle, you are going to have a blast with this guy. Alright, so if you like this video, please let me know by clicking like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, and if there's anyone else you want me to cover with these basic videos, please let me know down in the comments below. But until the next time, you have a good one, and I will see y'all later.